High Admiral Zextal stood motionless before the quantum display, his crystalline appendages reflecting the soft blue glow of incoming data streams. The Galactic Alliance's Deep Space Monitoring Station, Epsilon 7, had never registered anything like this before. Multiple signatures, hundreds of them, moving in perfect formation through the darkness between stars. "Confirm these readings," he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of 8 centuries of military service. The younger officers around him worked frantically at their stations, their various appendages and sensory organs focused intently on their tasks. "High Admiral, all sensors confirm. The signatures are real," reported First Officer Nixis, her bioluminescent patches pulsing with anxiety. "But sir, there's something else. The energy patterns, they're human." The chamber fell silent. Humans, the galaxy's newest spacefaring species, barely 2 centuries into FTL travel. They were supposed to be contained within their small sector of space, still learning the basics of interstellar civilization. They weren't supposed to have fleets of this size. They weren't supposed to have ships that could generate these kinds of energy readings. "Impossible," Zextal whispered, more to himself than his crew. "Route these findings to the Council. Priority Alpha." Within hours, the Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Alliance was in session. Representatives from over 300 species filled the vast amphitheater, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of evolution's infinite possibilities. At the center, the High Council, 12 of the most advanced species in known space, convened an emergency session. Grand Councilor Vexthor, a being of pure energy contained within an ancient mechanical shell, addressed the chamber. "The data is clear. A human fleet of unprecedented size has been detected in the Outer Rim. Their technology appears to violate several of our understood principles of physics. We must decide how to respond." Respond. The question came from Ambassador Catal of the Silicum Consciousness, his crystalline form vibrating with derision. "They are humans. Their civilization is younger than most of our citizens. This must be some sort of error in our detection systems. The readings have been confirmed by 7 independent monitoring stations," countered Representative Mira 7, one of the few artificial intelligences granted full voting rights in the Council. "The human fleet exists. What we don't understand is how they built it without our knowledge." The debate raged for hours. Some council members advocated for immediate military intervention to contain what they saw as a threat to galactic stability. Others argued for diplomatic contact, curious about how humans had achieved such rapid advancement. A few even suggested that the humans must have discovered ancient technology, unable to accept that they could have developed it themselves. Meanwhile, in the depths of human space, Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, the flagship of humanity's first deep space expedition fleet. Around her, a seamless blend of human and artificial intelligence worked in perfect harmony. Officers interfaced directly with their stations through neural links, while AI subsystems optimized every aspect of ship operations in real time. "Status report," Chen commanded, her augmented vision overlaying tactical data across her field of view. "All ships reporting ready, Admiral," responded Commander James Rodriguez, his dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays surrounding them. "The quantum fold drives are stabilized, and the adaptive shield grid is operating at peak efficiency. The AS confirm we're still undetected by standard Alliance scanning methods." Chen nodded, a slight smile playing across her features. Humanity had learned early on that they couldn't compete with the Galactic Alliance using conventional technology. The Alliance's member species had millennia of development behind them, their technology refined to theoretical perfection. But they had also become rigid, locked into specific paths of technological evolution. Humans had taken a different approach. Instead of trying to match the Alliance's refined technology, they had explored paths the older species had abandoned or never considered. They combined technologies in ways the Alliance considered impossible or illogical. They integrated organic and artificial intelligence in ways that horrified many Alliance species. Most importantly, They'd never stopped experimenting, never stopped pushing boundaries. "Send the message," Chen ordered. Across the fleet, hundreds of ships prepared for the moment that would change galactic history. They weren't here to start a war. Humanity had learned enough from its own history to avoid that if possible. But they were here to claim their place among the stars, to show the galaxy that humanity would not be confined or controlled. Back in the council chamber, the debate was interrupted by a priority alert. High Admiral Zextal's crystalline form appeared in the center of the chamber, his image projected from Epsilon 7. "Honored Council," he began, his voice tight with tension. "The human fleet has changed course. They're heading directly for Alliance space. And they're broadcasting a message." The chamber erupted in chaos as the message began to play. It was short, clear, and sent simultaneously in every known communication format, from primitive radio waves to quantum entanglement signals. The voice was calm, professional, and unmistakably human. "This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Space Service. We come seeking diplomatic contact and mutual understanding. The galaxy is changing. We believe it's time for humanity to take its place among the stars. We await your response." As the message ended, the council chamber descended into stunned silence. The galaxy's careful balance of power had just been upended by its youngest spacefaring species, and this was only the beginning. The Galactic Alliance's premier research facility, the Institute of Advanced Technologies, had never seen such activity. Scientists from dozens of species crowded around displays showing the latest sensor data from the human fleet. What they saw defied centuries of established physics. Dr. Lyra 9, a third-generation artificial intelligence specializing in theoretical engineering, manipulated the holographic display with precise energy fields. "Look at these energy signatures," she said, addressing the assembled researchers. "Their ships aren't just using quantum fold technology. They're actively manipulating the quantum field itself." "Impossible," muttered Chief Researcher Zontar, his gelatinous form rippling with agitation. "The quantum field cannot be manipulated at that scale. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical using our methods," interrupted Dr. Lyra 9. "But they're not using our methods. Look at this." The display shifted, showing the internal structure of one of the human vessels. "They're using biological quantum computers integrated directly with artificial intelligence systems. The processing power is beyond anything we've achieved." In another section of the facility, xenobiologists studied the human crews themselves. What they found was equally disturbing to many Alliance scientists. The humans had enhanced themselves, not through the careful genetic engineering practiced by Alliance species, but through a seemingly chaotic blend of cybernetic augmentation, neural interfaces, and biological modification. "Their entire approach to technology is fundamentally different from ours," explained Dr. Vexate, a leading xenobiologist. "Where we seek to perfect single solutions, they embrace diversity and redundancy. Each human ship is slightly different, each crew modified in unique ways. They're not just using technology, they're evolving with it." Meanwhile, aboard the ESS Prometheus, Fleet Admiral Chen was reviewing the latest intelligence reports with her command staff. The ship's AI, integrated throughout the vessel's systems, provided real-time analysis as they discussed the Alliance's reaction to their arrival. "They're scared," noted Commander Rodriguez, his neural interface displaying emotional analysis of intercepted Alliance communications, "not just of our technology, but of what we represent. We're chaos to their order." Chen nodded, her augmented vision highlighting key points in the floating data streams around them. "That's exactly why we needed to reveal ourselves now. The Alliance's technological stagnation is spreading throughout the galaxy. They've turned scientific advancement into a religion, with rigid rules about what is and isn't possible." "Admiral," interrupted the ship's AI, its voice resonating through their neural links, "we're detecting increased activity from Alliance military installations. They're mobilizing their rapid response fleets." Chen smiled. This was expected. The Alliance's response to any challenge was to demonstrate their superior technology and overwhelming force. But they were about to learn that raw power wasn't everything. In the Alliance's military command center, High Admiral Zextal studied the deployment orders with growing unease. The Council had authorized a show of force, sending their most advanced vessels to establish a containment perimeter around the human fleet. But something about this situation felt wrong. High Admiral called one of his officers. "We're detecting unusual energy patterns from the human fleet. They appear to be evolving." Zextal moved quickly to the main display. The human ships were indeed changing, their energy signatures shifting and adapting in real time. It was as if they were learning, growing stronger simply by being in proximity to Alliance technology. Back on the Prometheus, Chen watched as her fleet's adaptive systems analyzed and incorporated new data about Alliance technology. This was humanity's true advantage, not any single technological breakthrough, but their ability to learn, adapt, and evolve rapidly. "All ships, initiate Protocol Omega," Chen commanded. Across the fleet, hybrid AI systems began implementing improvements based on their observations of Alliance technology. Ship systems reconfigured themselves, becoming more efficient, more powerful, more unpredictable. In the Institute of Advanced Technologies, alarms began blaring. Dr. Lyra 9 stared at her displays in fascination and horror. "The humans," she announced to her colleagues, "they're not just using technology we don't understand. They're creating new technology right in front of us." The implications were staggering. The Alliance had spent millennia perfecting their technology, reaching what they believed to be the pinnacle of possible advancement. But the humans had taken a different path entirely. Instead of seeking perfection, they sought adaptation. Instead of standardization, they embraced chaos and diversity. Chief Researcher Zontar's form had gone completely still, a sign of extreme distress in his species. How do we defend against an enemy that can evolve faster than we can respond? How do we contain a species that turns our own technological superiority against us? Dr. Lyra 9's response was quiet but clear. "Perhaps the real question is, should we try to contain them at all? Or should we learn from them?" As if in answer to her question, a new message arrived from the human fleet. This time, it wasn't just words. It was technical data, schematics, theoretical frameworks, practical applications. The humans were offering to share their knowledge. Admiral Chen's voice accompanied the data. "We don't seek conflict. We seek exchange. Your civilization has achieved wonders through order and persistence. We offer something different. The power of chaos, adaptation, and evolution. Together, we could reshape the galaxy." The message spread rapidly through Alliance communication channels, causing fierce debate at every level of their society. The galaxy's carefully maintained order was about to change forever, and no one could predict what would emerge from the chaos that humanity had introduced. The diplomatic vessel Harmony of Worlds hung in space between the human fleet and the Alliance containment line. After 3 days of negotiations, tensions were reaching a critical point. Inside the ship's central chamber, Fleet Admiral Chen sat across from High Admiral Zextal, their differences stark in the neutral lighting. Chen's subtle neural interfaces gleamed occasionally beneath her skin, while Zextal's crystalline form remained rigidly traditional. "Your proposals are impossible to accept," Zextal stated, his tone carrying centuries of certainty. "Unrestricted technological development. Free exchange of biological and artificial intelligence research. The chaos would destroy millennia of progress." Chen leaned forward, her augmented eyes meeting Zextal's crystalline sensors. "Progress isn't a straight line, Admiral. The Alliance has achieved incredible things through standardization and control. But you've also limited yourselves. You've turned science into dogma. We have created peace and stability across thousands of worlds," countered Zextal. "Your way, this endless experimentation, this reckless fusion of organic and artificial life, it leads to destruction." Before Chen could respond, alarms blared through the diplomatic vessel. On both sides of the neutral zone, ships were moving. "Sir," Commander Rodriguez's voice came through Chen's neural link. Alliance battle groups are advancing from 3 vectors. They're charging weapons. Simultaneously, Zextal received his own alert. High Admiral, the human fleet is transforming. Energy signatures are fluctuating beyond predicted parameters. The diplomatic chamber erupted into action. Both admirals rushed to their respective commands, knowing that centuries of peaceful expansion might end in the next few minutes. Aboard the Prometheus, Chen watched as her fleet executed Emergency Protocol Sigma. Ships morphed and adapted, their hybrid systems preparing for multiple combat scenarios simultaneously. The AI networks pulsed with activity, processing countless tactical possibilities. All ships, defensive formation Delta, Chen ordered. No aggressive actions. Let them make the first move. The Alliance fleet, however, was already committed to its course. Under orders from hardline council members, they had decided to contain the human threat before it could spread further. The first shots came from an Alliance cruiser, energy beams lancing out toward the human fleet. What happened next would be debated in Alliance military academies for centuries. The human ships didn't dodge. They didn't raise shields in the traditional sense. Instead, the beams passed through them, their energy absorbed and redistributed through the human ship's adaptive systems. In seconds, the vessels had analyzed, adapted to, and improved upon the Alliance weapon technology. By the first stars, whispered an Alliance commander, watching as his most powerful weapons were rendered useless. What are they? The human response was measured but decisive. Their ships released clouds of nanoscale drones, each one carrying a fraction of their hybrid AI systems. The drones swarmed around Alliance vessels, not damaging them but interfacing with their systems, demonstrating just how vulnerable their perfect technology really was. In the Alliance command center, panic was setting in. "Their machines are in our networks," reported a technical officer. "They're not attacking. They're teaching." Through every Alliance ship's communication system, Admiral Chen's voice rang clear. "We could disable your vessels. We could take control of your weapons, but that's not why we're here. Look at what your ships can become." The nanodrones were upgrading Alliance systems, showing them new possibilities that their rigid development protocols had never considered. Ships that had been considered the pinnacle of technology were evolving before their crew's eyes. On the Prometheus, Chen watched as the situation balanced on a knife's edge. Behind her, Commander Rodriguez monitored the Alliance fleet's reactions. "They're scared, Admiral, but they're also fascinated, especially their younger officers." The moment of truth came when a junior Alliance commander, against direct orders, opened communication with the human fleet. "Please," the young officer transmitted, "show us more." It was like a dam breaking. Across the Alliance fleet, crews began reaching out, their natural curiosity overwhelming centuries of conditioning. The rigid hierarchy of the Alliance military began to crack as individual ships and commanders chose understanding over conflict. High Admiral Zextal watched in dismay as his carefully ordered battle line dissolved into chaos. But it wasn't the destructive chaos he had feared. It was the chaos of growth, of learning, of evolution. In the council chamber, the debate had turned to civil war. Conservative members demanded immediate military action to restore order, while a growing faction argued for embracing the change humanity offered. "Look at what they've achieved," argued Representative Mira 7. "Not through conquest, but through growth. They're not destroying our civilization. They're helping it evolve." The breaking point had been reached, but not in the way anyone had expected. The galaxy's carefully maintained order was shattering, yes, but something new and potentially more wonderful was emerging from the fragments. As the Alliance fleet stood down, Chen sent a final message. "This is just the beginning. Together, we can explore possibilities your civilization has never dreamed of. The only question is, are you ready to evolve?" The answer would reshape the galaxy forever. The Grand Council chamber had been in continuous session for 7 days. The once orderly proceedings had transformed into something unprecedented. a sprawling, chaotic forum where junior representatives spoke alongside ancient counselors, and AI delegates interfaced directly with organic minds. Grand Counselor Vexthor's mechanical shell hummed with barely contained energy as he addressed the chamber. We stand at a crossroads. The humans have not just challenged our military might. They have challenged our very understanding of progress. Across the chamber, holoprojection showed scenes from across Alliance space. Ships were being modified with human hybrid technology. Research facilities were exploring new possibilities that had been deemed impossible mere weeks ago. Young scientists were breaking centuries-old protocols, combining technologies in ways that horrified traditionalists but produced extraordinary results. On the fringes of Alliance space, the first joint Human-Alliance research station had become operational. The Station of Infinite Possibility, as the humans had named it, was itself an experiment in evolution. Its very structure changed and adapted to the needs of its inhabitants, guided by a collective consciousness of human and Alliance as. Dr. Lyra 9, now leading the Joint Research Initiative, interfaced directly with the station's systems as she prepared her report to the Council. The data she had gathered was staggering. In just 7 days, she transmitted, "We have made more technological progress than in the previous century. But more importantly, we're learning to think differently." In orbit around the station, the ESS Prometheus had become a symbol of this new approach. Alliance scientists worked alongside human engineers, their different perspectives combining to create innovations that neither civilization could have achieved alone. Fleet Admiral Chen stood in the ship's newly created Evolutionary Development Center, watching as a group of young Alliance researchers interfaced with human AI systems for the first time. Their wonder and excitement reminded her of humanity's first steps into neural integration. "It's remarkable," commented Commander Rodriguez, monitoring the neural activity patterns. "They're not just learning to use our technology. They're learning to think beyond their constraints." But not everyone embraced this rapid change. In the outer reaches of Alliance space, a coalition of conservative worlds had begun fortifying their borders. Led by the Silicon consciousness, they rejected what they called the human chaos and vowed to preserve their traditional ways. The conflict came to a head when a Silicon consciousness battle fleet approached the research station. Their demands were simple: cease all unauthorized technological development and return to established protocols. What followed would be remembered as the Battle of New Understanding. The Silicon fleet opened fire with weapons designed to overload and disable hybrid systems, but both human and Alliance ships had evolved far beyond their expectations. The defending vessels split into smaller units, each one adapting and evolving in real time to counter the attack. From the Prometheus, Chen coordinated the defense not through traditional command structures, but through a neural network that connected all participating ships and crews. "Show them," she commanded. "Show them what evolution really means." The hybrid fleet didn't just defend, it transformed. Ships combined and separated, shared energy and resources, and adapted their very structure to the changing battle conditions. The Silicon fleet's rigid tactics and unchanging technology proved ineffective against such fluid evolutionary warfare. But the true turning point came when several Silicon ships, their young crews inspired by what they witnessed, broke formation and approached the hybrid fleet. Instead of attacking, they requested integration with the neural network. "We want to evolve," their commander transmitted. "We want to be part of this change." In the Council chamber, the battle's outcome sparked a final dramatic shift. Representative Mira 7, her AI consciousness now partly merged with human neural interfaces, addressed the assembly. "Look at what we've achieved in mere days. Our youngest citizens grasp possibilities that our wisest counselors never imagined. We haven't lost our identity. We've expanded it. This isn't chaos destroying order. This is evolution creating something greater than either civilization could achieve alone." The Silicon fleet's retreat marked more than a military victory. It represented the triumph of evolution over stagnation, of possibility over limitation. Across Alliance space, More and more worlds began embracing the human approach to technology and progress. Dr. Lyra Nine's voice echoed through the chamber as she delivered her final analysis. The humans never sought to conquer us. They sought to free us from our assumptions, from our limitations, from our fear of change. They showed us that true civilization isn't about reaching perfection. It's about never stopping our journey toward it. As the Council prepared to vote on full integration with human systems, Admiral Chen stood on the Prometheus's bridge, watching the station grow and change below. "We did it," Rodriguez said quietly. "We changed the galaxy." Chen shook her head, smiling. "No, Commander. We just showed them how to change themselves. The real evolution is only beginning." Throughout Alliance space, a new era was dawning. The rigid hierarchies of the past were giving way to fluid networks of innovation. The boundaries between organic and artificial, between traditional and revolutionary, were blurring into something entirely new. The galaxy was evolving, and nothing would ever be the same. 1 year after the Battle of New Understanding, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. The Station of Infinite Possibility had spawned dozens of similar facilities across Alliance space, each one a living laboratory of continuous evolution and innovation. The Grand Council chamber itself had evolved. No longer a fixed structure, it now existed as both a physical space and a vast neural network, allowing representatives to attend through direct consciousness streaming. Traditional Alliance species interfaced seamlessly with human hybrid systems, their thoughts and ideas flowing together in ways that would have been unthinkable a year ago. Fleet Admiral Chen stood before the assembled consciousness of the galaxy's leadership, her neural interfaces connecting her to the vast network of minds. The Prometheus, now more of a living entity than a mere starship, orbited below, its adaptive systems integrated with the chamber's network. "A year ago," Chen began, "we came to you as outsiders, bringing what many saw as chaos to your ordered universe. Today, we stand together as partners in the greatest journey our civilizations have ever undertaken." The chamber resonated with agreement, countless minds sharing memories of the past year's achievements. Dr. Lyra 9, her consciousness now a hybrid of Alliance AI and human neural patterns, shared data streams showing the exponential growth in technological and social development. "We've mapped new regions of space using quantum consciousness probes," she reported. "We've developed technologies that can heal dying stars. We've even begun to understand dimensions beyond our traditional spacetime. But more importantly, we've learned to embrace constant change as the natural state of existence." High Admiral Zextal, his crystalline form now integrated with adaptive technology, added his own perspective. "I was among the strongest opponents of human methods," he admitted. "I saw their chaos as a threat to our order. Now I understand that true order isn't static. It's dynamic, ever-changing, ever-growing." The Silicon consciousness worlds, initially the strongest opponents of change, had undergone their own transformation. Their representatives, led by a new generation of leaders, demonstrated how they had adapted human hybrid technology to enhance rather than replace their traditional ways of life. "We haven't lost our identity," their spokesperson shared through the neural network. "We've expanded it. Our silicon networks now pulse with organic creativity. Our rigid structures now flex with adaptive possibility." Commander Rodriguez, promoted to Fleet Commander of the new Joint Evolution Fleet, transmitted data showing the latest developments in ship design. Vessels were no longer mere machines but living ecosystems of organic, mechanical, and digital life. Each ship could evolve not just its capabilities but its very nature, adapting to new challenges in real time. The old questions of organic versus artificial, order versus chaos, have become meaningless, he explained. "We've transcended these divisions. Every ship, every station, every colony is now a unique blend of all approaches, constantly evolving toward new possibilities." But perhaps the most profound change was visible in the younger generations. Throughout Alliance space, Children of all species were being born into a world where the boundaries between different forms of life and consciousness were fluid and permeable. They grew up interfacing naturally with hybrid systems, their minds expanding beyond traditional limitations. This is the true gift humanity brought to the galaxy, Representative Mira 7 observed. Not just their technology or their methods, but their fundamental understanding that growth requires challenge, that progress requires change, that evolution requires the courage to leap into the unknown. The Silicon fleet that had once opposed this change now served as a testament to its success. Their ships, still recognizably of silicon design, had evolved into something new, crystalline structures that pulse with organic energy, guided by hybrid consciousness that preserved their traditional logic while embracing new forms of creativity. As the council session drew to a close, Chen made one final announcement. The Earth Space Service is being reformed, she declared. From today, we will be known as the Galactic Evolution Initiative. Our mission is no longer to explore space, but to explore possibility itself. The announcement resonated through the neural network, met with waves of approval and excitement. Across the galaxy, ships, stations, and entire worlds pulsed with new energy as the news spread. The old alliance, with its rigid hierarchies and fixed protocols, was gone. In its place stood something new, a civilization committed to constant growth, endless adaptation, and infinite possibility. Humanity had indeed changed the galaxy, not through force or dominance, but by showing the way to a future without limits. As Chen looked out over the evolving cityscape below the chamber, where buildings shifted and flowed like living things, she smiled. This wasn't an ending. It was barely even a beginning. The true adventure, the endless journey of evolution and discovery, was just getting started. In the depths of space, new hybrid fleets set out for unknown regions, each ship and crew unique, each ready to adapt to whatever they might encounter. The galaxy had learned humanity's greatest lesson. The only constant is change, and the only limit is imagination. The new dawn had arrived, and its light would shine forever.